The content of this video might step on some toes, but if you've been struggling to make real, noticeable muscle growth and fat loss progress, it might be the message you need to hear to finally start getting the results that you've been really hoping for. I'm going to share with you what I think might be one of the most common reasons why so many people find themselves failing to get results. And to be honest, I don't think it's what most people want to hear, but I do think it might be what they need to hear. To best explain, here's a quick story. I was working with a client a few years back who wanted to take his physique to the next level by building a significant amount of muscle and getting leaner to the point of seeing clear, visible abs. For the first weeks and months that we worked together, he trained hard, he was intentional about moving with good technique, he tracked all of his progress, and he was insanely consistent. He tracked his calorie and macronutrient intake almost every day too, and did his best to order leaner options when he ate out with friends and family. Through the combination of the hard, consistent training he was doing and the changes that he was implementing with his eating routine, he was seeing very consistent and predictable strength progress in the gym and some very noticeable muscle growth progress as well. His fat loss progress, however, didn't seem to be quite as apparent. We weren't really seeing any profound changes in the mirror, and his scale weight really wasn't going down at all. At first, from the feedback that he was giving me about his diligence to sticking with the nutrition parameters that I made for him, I was worried that I made an error on my end. From what he was tracking, he was showing that he was not only being incredibly consistent with his training, but he was also consistently staying within the caloric parameters that I created for him. But upon double and triple checking my own work, I couldn't find any errors. So then I thought, well, hey, we might not be seeing any changes on the scale because the amount of body fat that he's losing could be offset by the amount of muscle that he is gaining, which would actually be fantastic. But with the amount of body fat that he needed to lose to see visible abs, and with the calculations that I made to his nutrition parameters, we really should have been seeing more profound changes in the mirror and on the scale. So what the heck was going on? After having gone through the possibilities, the answer became obvious to me. The laws of thermodynamics apply the same to everyone, and this individual was no exception to that. So he kept doing what he was doing, things remained unchanged, and he continued to see a lack of fat loss progress. Finally, after several months, this individual opened up a little bit and revealed the reason why he wasn't seeing much fat loss progress. In a conversation we were having, he let something slip. He was doing some regular snacking on sweets on an ongoing basis. At first, I didn't think that this was any cause for concern, because I thought that the snacks that he was talking about was something that he was including in his diligent nutrition tracking. But just to make sure, I asked him if he was, in fact, tracking those treats. But he said he wasn't. And there it was, the opening that we needed to finally identify the problem. As we continued to have our conversation, he opened up more and revealed that not only was he failing to track the seemingly innocent snacks that he was including, but he also wasn't tracking or recording a big chunk of his vegetable intake and often added extra portions to his meals that weren't being accounted for. See, the interesting thing here is that he voluntarily chose not to record the extra calories. Although the inaccuracy of not tracking those extra calories is, at a surface level, not a huge deal and something that's easily fixable, the underlying mistake of it all was a little bit more serious. By not acknowledging or recording the extra calories, he was being dishonest with himself. He admitted to me that he felt like he really should have been recording and accounting for the extra calories he was eating, but for whatever reason, he chose not to. He chose to disregard the error, to bury it in a hole and forget about it. And that was the mistake. He was dishonest with himself. You can't fix a problem if you sweep it under the rug. But here's the good news. Upon him opening up and being honest about the calories that he wasn't tracking, he finally started to legitimately follow the nutrition parameters that I put together for him. And sure enough, within that week, he dropped a pound on the scale. And then the next week, another pound. And the week after that, another one. And then another, and another, and another. And sure enough, around 14 weeks later, he dropped about 15 pounds and we could see a significant amount more tone and definition on his physique, and his muscularity was really showing. And not only that, but lo and behold, his abs were showing. From working with many one-on-one clients over the years, this is something that I've seen many more times than just with this individual. And to be completely honest, I've made this mistake too. For my first natural bodybuilding competition, in the latter weeks of my prep, I started to sneak in big bowls of steamed broccoli. The broccoli seemed innocent enough, but with the large volumes that I was including, I was probably adding somewhere around 100 to 150 extra calories that were unaccounted for daily. And yes, I know that that is a lot of broccoli and it is kind of weird, but you do some really weird things in prep. At that point, my fat loss progress definitely slowed down, and in retrospect, it's because I turned a blind eye to the extra calories that I was taking in from those big old bowls of steamed broccoli. And ultimately, being dishonest with myself about it. But hey, you live and you learn. We're all human, we all make errors. But if there's a pattern that I've seen with people who struggle to improve their physique, whether that be through building muscle or losing fat, it's that one of the most common reasons why they're not seeing the results that they want to be seeing is because they're not being honest with themselves. That could be from not accounting from extra calories eaten, or not measuring calories properly, not training as consistently or as hard as you could be, not accounting for the extra pint of beer or a glass of wine that you have a couple times a week, underestimating the size of the cheat meals or off-plan meals that you've been eating, and so on. Again, I'm no exception to this. I've made this mistake before too. So if you ever find yourself frustrated by not making the progress that you wish you were, the best first thing to do might be to reflect and to take note of anything that you might be sweeping under the rug. If you have been, it might just be an easy fix. If not, that's great too. Then you can keep troubleshooting and continue to find a solution elsewhere. And that's it. I know that some random fitness guy on YouTube suggesting that the reason why you're not seeing results might be because you're being dishonest with yourself might feel abrasive. But hopefully the message that I'm sharing is actually helpful to some of you to finally accomplish your physique goals. If you liked the video or found it helpful, let me know by dropping a comment and hitting the like button. Now that we're at the end of this video, be sure to check out this one. In it, I answer the question, what's the best rep range for muscle growth? I'll see you there.